Good evening. Hi, we're going to start in about 1 minute, so if people could start taking their seats, that would be great. Wow, that was good. Look how quiet you got. I remember some of you out there. Do you guys remember me? Yes. Mrs. Taringo. Yes. Parents, I know you do too. How's everyone? You look good. Everyone looks good. All right. Those were rough times. Remember, like, you saw half of my face. I never had to use lipstick. I just went like this with my mask. But now I'm here. All right. Everyone good? Okay, great. All right, good evening. Welcome to our 8th grade scheduling night and our parent information night and our curriculum fair. We're getting it all done together tonight so that you can get all this information in one type of a meeting. And for your students, it's like an assembly. You know what I mean? Get everything in tonight, okay? And then, because it is information overload a little bit, throughout this month, you're going to have meetings and a way that you can sign up for your classes and a session with a guidance counselor so that you're not just, if you miss something on one of the slides, don't fret about it, okay? Don't worry about it, because the information will come up again. We have tons of special guests here tonight. Look at them. They're all waiting to talk. Woo! Okay. So it's not just me. You don't have to listen to me all night. All right. Here's our overview. Okay. So the overview tonight, we're going to spend about a half an hour learning about our departments and the different classes you could take at the high school. All right? We have some guests, which are our chairs of our departments. Okay? And then later, in about a half an hour or so, Mrs. Wenzel will come up. Ms. Wenzel, she over there? There she is. Hand raised up. She is going to be your guidance counselor, class of 2027. All right? Sounds so far away, but trust me, and parents, you know this. If you have older children, you know that it goes by fast. We just had our senior assembly this morning, and boy, those students, we told them, this is the last time you're going to be in the auditorium as a student of Nordonia High School. And boy, it's emotional, okay? All right, so let's start. Let's take a look. Okay. So tonight in our introductions, I'm Mrs. Taringo, right? Louise Taringo. We have here Miss Archer. Miss Archer is our associate principal, and she'll have students of letters A through I, right? A through I, and last names A through I. So if you, parents, when you say, well, which assistant principal should I call? Which associate principal should I call? Should I call Mrs. Taringo? First thing you do, call the associate principal in charge of your child's last name, okay? Mr. Buckler is here as well. Mr. Buckler has students with the last names J through R. And Mr. Fox is our dean of students, and he's not here this evening, regretfully. He's at a clinic in Columbus, not a clinic, but a football clinic, just so we don't worry about Mr. Fox here. I don't want to say the clinic. All right, he's at a football clinic. Okay, and now Mr. Eckenrode's over here. There's our athletic director, Mr. Eckenrode. Miss Wenzel, you already saw her before. Mr. Miley, I don't know if I saw him. Is Zach here? I think you know Mr. Miley already because he does a lot of work at the middle school. Mr. Wiley is our student wellness coordinator. That might be a familiar face. And then Miss Erica Molnar is here this evening, and she's our AP coordinator. Parents, she's quite well-versed in AP courses, and she takes care of our spring exams, our AP exams in the spring, okay? So right now, I'd like to you will meet each, or at least you'll see them up here, and they will speak this evening, all of our department chairs that are listed there. So I won't introduce them individually right now, because we'll introduce them when they come, okay? Because otherwise they're just going to be waving, and we're not trying to rush through this, but we do have a lot tonight, okay? Okay, so about our education here at Nordonia High School. There's just a lot to be said about the success of our graduates. So if you had anyone in the class of 2022, these are some of the shout-outs, and these are some of the cool things, and of course some of the success stories that came out of the class of 2022. 289 graduates, 82% continued on to higher ed. Look at those statistics. Okay, I won't read them through for you, but some of the exciting things that you have to look forward to, students, are something like senior experience, a senior job shadowing opportunity your senior year. 170 some participated in that. And then it goes on and on to the different diplomas received. Lastly, and parents, I'm living this right now, the unbelievable amount of tuition that we as parents are asked to pay sometimes for our students. I know that students help pay some of it too, but we do offer quite a bit of opportunities for our students to receive money locally, and also students could try to receive money nationally. So we have listed there $11.6 million in offered scholarship money, okay? That's a lot. That's great. So over the past 5 years, you'll see some of the successes again listed there from our AP College Board, getting awards for the best high school in the U.S. News and World Report rankings, also Newsweek, and et cetera. Our latest one that we received, and our teacher, our instructor is here this evening, Samantha Fales, if you could just wave for us. She is our teacher of computer sciences, our instructor, and we just received our Female Diversity Award, and that is given to us from AP College Board when students that don't typically take courses and are successful in courses. So what we've done is we make sure that our female population, as well as our males, but this one is showcasing our young ladies in our high school, and they are challenging themselves to take some of these accelerated courses, which sometimes are typically male-dominated. So we wanted to do a shout-out to Samantha. Thank you so much. Okay, talking a lot about academics tonight and, of course, scheduling courses. Don't forget to be a student. Don't forget to have fun. Don't forget to make Nordonia High School the best 4 years that you can possibly make it. And that is done with just getting involved. You know, and parents, I get it. I feel your pain sometimes. Students just want to go home and they'll be like, nah, I'm just going to go up in my room. I'm going to play video games, whatever. Get yourself involved in being a knight. We have so many things that you could be doing. And in addition to academics, our music programs are amazing. We have buds that we help our students with special needs. We have our drama department. They're awesome. Our NDEIC is doing an amazing job. And also, we do fun things with our teachers. Our teachers are not just here to teach and give you homework, but we also do fun things with our staff. So we encourage you to get involved and, of course, be the knight that you truly can be, okay? All right, Ms. Cormel, come on up. All right, here is our chair of our Physical Education and Health Department.
All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Amy Cormel, talking to you about PE and health. Just to get through this, as you know, PE and health are graduation requirements. So you need to get 2 semesters of PE and 1 semester of health. Of course, you all know of the option to use the PE waiver. Basically, you're promising to complete 2 seasons of a sport throughout the 4 years that you're here to opt out of PE. Having said that, we have lots, as you can see, lots of great electives, something for everyone, regardless of your level of athletic ability. And there's something for everyone based on your interest. Lifetime Fitness is you're in the weight room 3 times a week on your own program. And then you get to do sports and activities twice a week. I'm going to make this real quick and short. If you have questions, just ask me, but I could talk forever about these electives, and I won't. Rec sports and games, less intense activities like cornhole and bocce ball and table tennis. Team sports, your more popular sports throughout the semester in different seasons. We'll get through all the more popular sports. Basketball, self-explanatory. Teammates class is the class where our typically developing students interact with their peers who have special needs through sports and activities. Health careers, that's an elective for students who maybe are interested in pursuing a field in the medical field. We have Cadet Corps, which is kind of like a junior ROTC program, maybe for students who are interested in joining some rank of the military. Basketball referee, it's a new class that we started this past year. Kids will learn how to referee basketball, how to keep stats, how to run a scoreboard, some of the behind-the-scenes jobs like how to keep the scorebook, and ultimately become a basketball referee, starting to work with our NYB here in town, and ultimately Ohio High School referee. There's a big push for kids to learn how to referee. And lastly, mindful wellness and yoga. Self-explanatory, but we do yoga twice a week and then work on things, how to deal with stress and anxiety and relationships and just life in general. Semester courses available to all 9th through 12th graders. You can take them multiple times throughout your time here at the high school, and they cannot be used to replace the graduation requirement of PE and health. Thank you all so much. And next we have Rachel Pierce.
Our English chairperson, Rachel Pierce.
Good evening, everybody. I probably spoke to a large majority of you in the crowd, so I don't have anything really earth-shattering to share, especially because as incoming 9th graders, you really only have 2 options for English. You have either CP or you have honors. While I do have the floor, just a couple things I'll share is, 1, English is a 4-year graduation requirement. Speaking about graduation, there is an end of course exam that your student will take their sophomore year in the spring. And then since the majority of you well, you've already been recommended for CP or honors, most of you should have been. But if you are wavering between CP or honors, I would just ask that you consider work ethic of your student as well as their ability in English. So those are 2 criteria that are really important for those honors students. We expect that they're doing more work at home independently and also that they are pretty strong in their reading and their writing foundational skills. The last thing I'll mention really quick here, on the slide you do see the electives and the AP courses that we offer, but since that doesn't really apply to 10th grade, I'm not going to go through all of those, but know that those offerings do expand once they become 10th graders. Thank you so much.
Next.
Hi. We were arguing over who got to introduce me. Hi, I'm Samantha Fales, and I'm the Mathematics Department Chair. I think I got a chance to talk to most of you this evening, so thank you for coming. You already know that there's 4-year math requirement. Everyone must take Algebra 1 and Geometry. And then after that geometry course is done, you have options based on career interest. This slide kind of gives you just a very brief overview of what those options are. If you're going to be a STEM major that requires calculus, we suggest Honors Algebra 2. STEM major, non-calculus Algebra 2, and then based on your specific careers, and if you look in the course description book, you'll see that flow chart in color with font the size that you can actually read. It'll tell you what careers will lead you into each of those courses. And so your 4th credit option then, once you've decided this is my pathway, your 4th credit option, you can take a different Algebra 2 equivalency course or STEM into pre-calculus, honors or regular, calculus, AP, or just honors. And we also have some computer science options for you as well. AP Computer Science Principles, grades 10 plus, so after the end of next year you can make those decisions, or AP CSA after CSP or Algebra 2, or Algebra 2. Any questions, please feel free to email me, check the course description books, and good luck in your decision making.
And we have science.
Hi, I'm Barb McMichael, and for your freshman year in science, you're going to be taking either college prep bio or honors biology. Both courses cover the same content. Honors biology will cover it in a little more depth and require a little bit more independent work outside of class. I do want to tell you one of the questions that I get asked a lot at the table. Well, what if they're signed up for all 4 core classes, all 4 honors? I don't want them to have 6 hours of homework every night. You will not have 6 hours of homework every night. I can speak as a mom. All 3 of my kids graduated from here. They all took honors courses, and I never remember seeing them study for even close to 2 hours a night. So if you're signed up for all 4 honors, don't be afraid. We're not going to kill you here, I promise. Your freshman year, you have 2 electives that are available to you. One of them is taught in our innovation lab, and it's digital media. You'll learn 9 different machines and get to make projects on every one of those machines. and then remotely piloted vehicles. You'll actually learn to fly a drone, and you'll get FAA certification on that drone if you choose to take the test. So those two are open to you your freshman year. The only other thing I'd like to add is if you're wavering between honors bio and CP bio, is to kind of think about where you might be headed towards the end of your high school career. You do need to have the honors science classes in order to be able to take the AP science classes your junior and senior year. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mr. Testa, and I'm representing the Social Studies Department, and thank you all for being here. And again, it was a pleasure to meet so many of you. Social Studies, 9th grade students take World History, 10th grade students take U.S. History, 11th and 12th grade, the required courses are Government and Economics. The one thing you should know about Government and Economics is you usually can fit them in 1 year because they're semester classes unless you take them at the AP level. Then those courses are full-year courses and require more time in your schedule. One of the things that's different about the Social Studies Department than the Science Department is we do not have prerequisites for the AP courses, so therefore you do not have to take one of the other courses before you take that one. You can jump into an AP class whenever you would like to do that. You can see we have quite an assortment of elective courses that you can begin to take in your 10th grade year as well. And for most of you, in the conversations that I had earlier and when you came this evening, we're just trying to figure out what level course your student should be in for next year. And you can see on the screen up there that the World History, the CP World History compared to the Honors World History is going to require a little bit more independence. So I'll agree with our English teacher who was up here just a little while ago saying to you, if you scored well on ELA tests in middle school, and if you have good reading and writing skills and you can work independently, then an honors course is for you. Thank you all. Next up, Spanish and Pam Conte.
Buenas noches, guten Abend, und bonjour. I am Pamela Conte. I am the department chair of the World Languages. We offer 3 languages, as you can see. Colleges no longer require it, but it is recommended that you take 2 years. The other universities, the bigger ones like Ohio State, they like to see 4. So just keep that in mind depending on what your path is going to be. You can start level 1 in 9th grade. If you are doing well in English and math, you have some good study skills, you can work on your own, I recommend start it right away in 9th grade. If you think you need a little adjustment to the high school, you might want to wait till 10th grade. The reason I say that is because the language courses are cumulative. It's not like you can, like I didn't do so well on 2 tests and now I'm going to keep going. You'll always have to refer back to it. Then, if you've already taken Spanish 1 in the middle school, I suggest you go by the recommendation of your Spanish 1 teacher. But if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to email me and we can talk about it or clear up any misconceptions. Thank you for coming.
Visual arts. There you go, Faith.
Okay, most important classes you're going to want to take. I'm Stacy Hostetler. I'm one of the art teachers. One of the art teachers here at the high school. We have 5 art classes that are available to your freshman student. We have Art 1 that focuses on introductory skills in drawing and painting. Art 2 that focuses more on crafts, mixed media, ceramics, and printmaking. New this year, we have Digital Art and Photo 1 that is available to students. And that focuses on how to properly use a camera, computer, and computer software like Photoshop and Adobe products there. And then we also have Media Production, which is a class that explores audio and visual digital media, where students get to learn how to record and edit video and sound. And then lastly, we have Adaptive Art, which is designed to provide our students with special needs, specialized instruction in visual art skills alongside their general education peers. And this allows students with special needs to spend time learning and interacting with general ed peers while participating in the art making process. none of these have to be taken consecutively, so you can take Art 2 before you take Art 1, or you can cherry pick which ones you want to take. And then once you become a sophomore and above, then we have a lot of more concentrated electives that are available to you, like drawing, painting, ceramics, more photo, and we also offer our AP Art to our juniors and seniors. And next.
Hi, I'm Linda Luce, and I am one of the teachers in the Family Consumer Science Department. We keep hearing bring back home economics. Well, here at Nordonia and in many other school districts, home ec never left. Back in 1994, the name changed to Family Consumer Science. They also, at that time, updated the curriculum to make it so that it's really for everybody and learning adult skills for adulthood. We, for ninth graders, have 4 courses that they can take. Life Choices, that's going to focus on preparing for the world of work. They'll do resumes, interview skills, things like that. Careers in Design, where they learn about fashion and interior design, and in that class we also learn how to sew. In Child Development, they focus on the development of the child from conception to preschool, and it's great for anybody who's interested in having children or even working with children. And finally, they can take Leadership and Community Service, where they are able to do some of their community service hours that are required for graduation. In addition to these courses, in 10th grade, they're going to be able to take their Foods with Flair and Science of Cooking, where you get to make and eat all the food in the class. And lots of people sign up for that, especially Foods with Flair. That's our biggest class. And in 11th, and also Science of Cooking, that was a new class this year. We've got quite a few kids in that class. It's not going to be really truly like, you know, balancing equations, all those kinds of things, but just kind of learning the chemistry of cooking, and you get to eat whatever you make. They're making candy tomorrow. And in 11th and 12th grade, they can add on Life on Your Own. Everybody keeps saying, we need to be teaching these kids adulting skills, like how to do their taxes and how to do their laundry and all those kinds of things, and that's what Ms. Fenn is focusing on in that class. And they can also take Gourmet Foods and Adult Roles. Again, more cooking, and the Adult Roles focuses on relationships, and that's a class where they take the baby home if they would like to do the baby that's computerized. We all know that adulting is difficult. And the Family Consumer Science Department here, we focus on teaching skills that are going to help our students to navigate the adult world with more confidence. Thank you.
All right, they're saving the best for last here. So many of you know me as just Brock's mom, especially this little group down here, right? Hello there. The other half, the adults, probably didn't even know that I actually own real clothes because I usually have a baseball cap on and some type of sports gear. So here at the high school, though, I'm Mrs. Barwitty, and I am the business chair. So in the business department, we have 2 different teachers, and I've talked to a lot of people when you came around the tables, so it's nice to see some of you. And I was talking about, we have one class for our freshmen, which is called Computer Applications. So my Computer Applications class, our students were given Chromebooks in 3rd grade, and so they're very Google-based. That's all they know how to do, open it up and start typing. So I teach them how to use the computer again. So I do a Microsoft Office package with Word, PowerPoint, Excel, and Publisher. We have a keyboarding component to it as well, so I take their skills and I try to improve upon them. Not necessarily forcing that home row that we learned because they already have their own style. I just want to help them improve their skills and increase their speed. So computer applications, the first grading period, first 9 weeks, we do that Word Office suite, how to save, how to retrieve a document, how to name it, as well as the keyboarding. And then the second 9 weeks, we do more project-based video animation, how to use our phones as a presentation tool. So we'll make videos in iMovie. When we gave presentations in high school, we had PowerPoint. Well, the students now can do movies on their phones, iMovies, TikTok. We'll do some green screen. We'll do some stop animation. So that is how the computer applications class goes. If you visited me out at the table, you saw I had all kinds of fun stuff like that hat and the sweatshirt, so I'm going to drop down to entrepreneurship. So I teach that. It's a senior-only class where we run a business and we sell products. The other electives that we have for them to take sophomore through senior year is personal finance. Marketing 1 or Marketing 2 is taught by Mr. Joe Knight, the other business teacher. I then teach a class called Careers in Sports, so we have a lot of sports lovers out there, so we try to figure out how do we tie our love for sports to a career that we also love. And then I teach an accounting class, which is all year. So if your student's thinking about going into the business world, that was the language of business, and they can take that their junior or senior year. So don't forget about the business electives. It's a really small line this year, but it will grow over the next couple years. So that is all I have for you. Welcome to the high school.
Awesome. Okay. So those were our departments. Those are the classes in different periods of your day that you're going to have, okay? Now I'm going to ask Mr. Eckenrode to come on up and kind of talk about our athletics and just getting involved in sports.
Thank you, Ms. Tarango. I just felt real old because Ms. Barr already said, you know, they used to do presentations on PowerPoint. Well, when I was in school, we did presentations on like overhead projectors with those films and everything. So she just made me feel really, really old. Thank you. So, as Mr. Tarango said, my name is Rob Eckenrode, and I'm the athletic director here at Nordonia. I've been here 16 years and 23 years total as a high school AD. As you can see on the sheet there, we offer 24 different varsity sports here at Nordonia. So, students, wherever your skills may lie, whatever suits your taste, I'm sure we have something that's going to satisfy you. So, also, as Ms. Tarango said, I'm here to encourage you to get involved. You know, these next 4 years are going to be special, and we want you to be involved in as many things as possible. There's numerous research studies out there that will tell parents that the more a student is involved in extracurriculars at the high school, the stronger their academic performance is going to be. So we want you involved in as many things as you guys can handle. So I know everybody reads the newspaper, reads online, and knows all about the athletic accomplishments of our teams. We've done great things over the years here athletically at Nordonia. But I think the thing that I'm most proud of, and this is using last year's numbers, our student athletes last year, we had 748 kids participate in athletics. Their average GPA was 3.7. So that's something that I truly believe in. These young men and women are student athletes. They're students first, and our coaches stress that. So parents, please keep that in mind. You know that our coaches are educators as well, and they will make sure that your kids are getting their academics done first before their athletics. As we talk about the academic side, if you want to hit the next slide, Mr. Tarango. Athletically, it's a little different to be eligible here at the high school versus at the middle school. At the middle school, you had to be passing 3/4 of your classes to remain eligible. At the high school here, by state guidelines, you need to be passing at least 5 one-credit classes at the end of each 9-week grading period. And I sit down and look at everybody's grades to make sure everybody is eligible based on passing those 5 one-credit classes. The biggest thing that I want to stress to you tonight, if you don't take anything else away from this, if you have a question about your schedule, if you don't think you have enough classes in order to be eligible, please come see me, see your coach, see Ms. Wenzel, your guidance counselor, because the last thing I want to do is at the end of the 9-week grading period, because I check grades each 9 weeks, each 4 times a year, is I don't want to tell you that you're ineligible because you didn't take enough classes. So please, we want you to be young adults. We want you to be proactive. Come see one of us. We're here to help you. We might want to make sure that you're in enough classes in order to remain eligible. My last comments tonight are for you parents. I'm a former cheer dad. My daughter was a high school cheerleader. So I know what it's like to be the parent and sit in the stands and watch our kids participate. The next 4 years might be the last time you get the opportunity to watch your students participate in athletics. You know, we're here to make sure that the kids have fun and enjoy themselves in their extracurricular activities. So I would encourage you to show up, support them, their athletic endeavors, and to please teach them good sportsmanship. You know, our role in athletics is to teach kids life skills and self-discipline so that they can take that when they move on beyond their high school years and become productive adults. So please encourage them to get involved in athletics or whatever their chosen extracurricular is, and you guys will enjoy the next 4 years here at Nordonia. So thank you again for coming. If anybody has any questions, don't hesitate to give us a call at the athletic department or shoot me an email or whatever, and we'll definitely get back to you with an answer. Mr. Rango?
Mr. Eckenrode. Okay. So just a little talking about freshman to senior year. This is our GPS. This is our map. We're going to get you to the end. We're going to start here freshman year, and we're going to head to every year. By 2027, you'll be a graduate of Nordonia High School. Just making sure you have a plan. You have that, I always say just sometimes if you don't have a plan, you don't know where you're going. Any road will get you there, right? So what you want to do is have that plan, have that GPS on, and get kind of start now. Like start now in 8th grade and just go, okay, wow, that was interesting. A lot of courses I want to take. This, maybe, you've heard a lot about the high school, and those that don't have any siblings older than them, sometimes there's a lot of, stress or anxiety, and you're like, I don't know if, am I going to make friends? Or trust me, this place is fun. Now, we have rules. Got to follow the rules. We do, but we also we want you to enjoy it, and we want you to have some good times. Get involved, extracurriculars, of course, but build your resume now. And in a work setting, that piece of paper, it's your life. It's all on one piece of paper. Start building that resume right now. Some of the courses you want to take and some of your future goals. I have 2 daughters. One knew what she wanted to do right from the beginning. She said, I want to go in a career in fashion. I'm not stopping. I'm going to go to a school that will get me to where I want to go. She's living in New York City. She's living the dream. That's what she wanted to do. My other daughter didn't know. She did not know what she wanted to do. She changed her major 3 times in college. She's a teacher now. She loves it. And she's actually a 7th and 8th grade English teacher. So she actually, and I see that in a lot of students. They might not have that GPS, that plan, that resume right now, but it doesn't mean that one day they won't be gainfully employed. I just want to give that little shout out there. Now, that's what parents worry about, too, is gainfully employed. So I always like to talk about choosing friends. And sometimes the friends that you have that are sitting right next to you may not be your friends in high school. You're going to make new friends. That's okay. Peer relationships, we navigate through that every day, and I'm sure you do at the middle school as well. But choose your friends wisely, make good choices, and we'll be here to help you navigate through that, okay? All right, I'm going to ask Ms. Wenzel to come on up. Okay. So this is the second part of this tonight, is all about scheduling.
Okay, hello again. I have lots of information to cover, but all of this will and has been sent out as well. So last week, all the 8th graders sat and watched a video presentation about what I am going to cover as well. So we try to basically just overwhelm you with it so that you have it in every sort of form that you possibly can, so that we hopefully get all the questions answered that you might have. But that doesn't mean that all of them will be answered. So don't ever hesitate to ask questions, reach out to me. I'm currently the senior counselor, so it is a very busy time of year, but I also love this time of year to start thinking about the next group that's coming in. So we'll go ahead and get started. So we've already talked about our high school team here, the administrative team and the support services team. We work hand in hand. It's a really united group of professionals that are here to support your students, and we do a great job at that. So please, our doors are open. Don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions or need anything in your 4 years in high school. And I want to jump into graduation requirements because ultimately part of this scheduling process is making sure that you're working towards graduation and that you're on progress for that for the next 4 years. So I highlighted the first column here because these are your course requirements. This is really what scheduling is all about, is making sure that you are scheduling the correct courses so that you meet those graduation requirements in 4 years. So I'll run through those real quick. There's 4 math requirements that Mrs. Fales spoke about when she was talking about the math department. So 4 math, 3 science, 4 English, 3 social studies, a half credit of health, a half a credit of PE, but that's 2 total courses, 1 fine art credit, and then 5 elective credits for a total of 21 credit hours to meet eligibility for graduation. So a couple of quick things that I want to highlight is that some of you may be pursuing the PE waiver. So if you do the PE waiver, you're not exempt from that half credit. You do have to make that up in electives somewhere, but you just don't have to take PE. So that then gets added as an elective credit. Fine art, I get a lot of questions about, does foreign language qualify for a fine art? It does not. Foreign language is nowhere within our graduation requirements, but we do recommend foreign language for our college-bound students at some point in high school, between 2 and 3 years of that. But it is not a graduation requirement, and it does not fulfill that fine art requirement. If you are considering our Career Center, though, so a 2-year program at CVCC, then you would be exempted from that fine art credit if you complete 2 years of that program at CVCC. So those are your course requirements for graduation. In addition to that, our district does require 20 hours of community service, which you can start to document this summer going into 9th grade. So if you do any community service this summer, please make sure that you document that on our verification form and you start to rack up those hours. We encourage more than 20 hours because if you are looking for scholarships when you go to college and applying to college, those are really things that colleges look for and scholarships communities die for are those community service hours. Our next category here is your demonstration of competency. This is related to our AIR tests, or those end-of-course exams. That can get a little confusing when we say end-of-course exams. Those aren't finals. Those are AIR tests that our students will take in high school. There are several AIR tests that they will participate in. Algebra 1 and ELA 2 are the two that have a required score that you must meet to meet this competency requirement for graduation. So for Algebra 1, you must obtain a 684 or higher, and for ELA 2 or English 2, it's a 684 or higher as well. Meeting those two requirements, and you have multiple opportunities to do that. Most of our students will meet that on their first attempt. Then that would meet your competency requirement for graduation. Ultimately, some students really struggle with testing, and we understand that. The state has provided alternative pathways that we can look into as an option if need be. So our goal is always to try to meet that through our testing pathway, but we have some alternative options that we'll work through if we need to do that to meet that requirement for graduation. And then our third column here is our diploma seals. This is a newer graduation requirement, and so there's a lot of information about the diploma seals that you will get over the next couple of years, and there's a lot of details to go through. So I'm not going to go through every criteria right now, but I do want to show you what those 12 diploma seals are. These are areas that the state of Ohio has determined that are areas where there's need for skills in our community beyond high school. And if you can display those skills or those competencies, then you would earn a diploma seal for that. The requirement for graduation is 2 seals, one of which does have to be a state seal. That's that top group there. So one from the state seal, and then the other one can come from anywhere else. But you'll see that little asterisk next to community service. Those are our local seals. So we have the fine and performing arts, the student engagement, and the community service. Our district sets the requirements for the local seals. And so that community service seal is the same as our 20-hour requirement for graduation. So you will automatically get that one. So we're looking for at least one more state seal for you, which can be met through a variety of ways. And then some students will meet beyond that. So you can strive for more, but we're looking for a minimum of 2 of those. So those are our graduation requirements for the class of 2027. A little bit about grade promotion. So this is very different than any other school you have attended from primary up until now. So in secondary school here at the high school, we have 4 grade levels, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. And in order to be promoted to the next grade level, you do have to meet a minimum credit requirement for promotion. So that's the different piece here, is that there is, so when you take these classes next year, you will earn credits for passing those credits, and you have to earn so many credit hours to be promoted to the next grade level. So from 9th to 10th grade, you have to obtain at least 3.75 credits to be considered a sophomore. That is not what we would necessarily consider on progress. We would like to have you earn somewhere between 5.75 to 7 credits your freshman year. But as long as you have at least 3.75, you will be considered a sophomore. To be considered a junior, you need 8.5. And to be considered a senior, you need 12 credits. to be eligible to be a senior your 4th year. Now, as you can see, you need 21 credit hours to graduate, so the distance between 12 and 21 is large. So we really, really focus on trying to get you the right amount of credits each year so that come senior year, you have exactly the amount of credits that you need to have a positive senior experience, to be prepared to graduate that year, and to not feel overwhelmed or behind. And that is our ultimate goal. And we're very successful at that. So that's my goal, is to help you through any of those challenges that you might run into with your courses so that we can be on progress come senior year. So getting back into our scheduling events here, this is your timeline of events, and in the packet of information that your student received last Friday is a scheduling timeline. So you have all of these dates. I just want to walk through them one more time so that you don't miss anything. So this past Friday was your scheduling presentations. Today is your showcase here at the high school. Between last Friday and February 9th is your time to really dig into that course information, think about what classes you want to take in 9th grade, and make your request selections. And so between that time, you should be talking to your teachers about their recommendations. You and your family should be talking. You might want to ask questions if you have siblings or know other students in the high school about what they did. I am also a resource for you, so don't hesitate to reach out. Please be intentional about this process, because it is very important for you to have a successful 9th grade year, to do this with some intention. And then on February 9th, you're going to take your scheduling request form. That's that single blue sheet with all those course numbers on it. And that is going to be completed and turned into your social studies teacher. So your social studies teacher will collect those on February 9th. And then on February 10th, all of the counselors from the high school will come down to the middle school, and we will hold individual meetings with each 8th grader to complete your scheduling request process for you. So if we see any issues at that time, we try to work through that and catch any problems that there might be, and just walk through any questions, additional questions there are at that time. So we try to be very intentional with this. We try to make it very individualized. That's our goal, is to make sure that all of you feel comfortable with this process. But please remember that that February 9th date is very important, because if you don't have that request sheet, it makes it very hard to do what we need to do on February 10th. So that's the important day where we get those course requests in, and we actually submit those so that we can determine what schedules are going to look like in a couple weeks. So from March until the start of the school year, if you have any questions or need to make any changes, please reach out to me. The reason we say March to the start of the school year is that because I am the senior counselor, so there's a lot of senior activities I'm doing right now. But if you have an immediate question that needs answered, please don't hesitate to email me or give me a call. And if you need to set up a meeting between March and the beginning of the school year, I'm happy to do that. So if you have something that maybe needs a little more attention that we want to talk through, I'm happy to help with that. All schedule changes do have to be completed prior to the start of the school year, though. So this is something that we really, really try to communicate out so that there's no confusion, that once the school year starts, your schedules are final. So we don't move levels, we don't change electives. There's not really like a come and try out a class kind of period. You are set in those classes the day that you walk into class. So that is why it's so important to ask the questions you need to now, get the information you need to now, so that you can make the best educated decisions for yourself about your schedule. All right, so I referenced that packet of information that the students received last week. These are links to that packet. So this is posted on our high school website. You have a welcome letter in there. You have your activities calendar, your graduation requirements that I've gone over. We also have our important scheduling procedures, just kind of walking you through how to make changes and our procedures around that. There's also a 4-year planning tool in that packet. This is optional. You don't have to turn it in, but it is beneficial that if you want to start to plan out what the next 4 years might look like, or if you know you're going to go to CVCC and you want to get certain electives in before your schedule's tied up with that, this tool can help you with that. So for those that would like to plan long term, please use this to help guide you through that. There's also a handout in there that shows you how to get to our online course book. If you go to the high school's website and click on support services, then you'll be able to access our course book. That's where all the course descriptions are for all of the courses that you've heard about this evening. And that can be really helpful if you have questions about what is this class about, because sometimes you just don't know by the title of that class. And then your schedule planning information. That is kind of a handout to walk you through how to complete your schedule requests. And I'm going to talk to you about that too. There's also a handout in that packet about 8th grade health or summer health. So if you are someone that took health this year as an 8th grader, or you plan to take it over the summer, there's some direction in there about how to go about the scheduling process if you're opting out of taking that 9th grade. And then the last piece of that packet is a recommendation waiver. And that is used if you are going to choose to override a recommendation. And I'll talk a little bit about that in a couple of minutes. So hopefully you have reviewed that information. But if you haven't, there are links here in this presentation, which has been sent out. And then you also have the packet available to you. If you need extra copies, just contact our office. So I'm going to go through the scheduling request sheet with you real quick, just so that you understand how to complete this. So it's blue, obviously. If you have it with you, it's blue and not white. But this is what it looks like. So on the front are all the courses that we offer. Those that have lines next to them might have initials. That's where your teacher has recommended certain courses for you, whether that's college prep, honors, AP, or some certain electives require a signature. So you'll want to review those and determine which courses you're going to select. What we recommend is that on this front here, you actually go through and circle the class that you would like to select for each subject. So English, math, science, and social studies, and then the electives that you're going to choose as well. So once you kind of plan out on the front, you're then going to turn over to the back and write out your selections. So it's kind of like a double check. So on the front, if you circle, that helps you transfer the correct information to the back, because sometimes you can mess up the numbers. So that is what we recommend to help prevent any errors in that. So you're going to choose one core class for each subject at the top. So for English, you might choose College Prep English 9. And under that small line there where it says course number, you're going to put the course number. And then next to it, you'll actually write out the course name. Same thing for math, science, and social studies. So you'll pick your 4 core. And then below that is where you will select your elective courses. So if you're taking PE and health, that would go on those first 2 lines there. Those are semester courses. So you're going to select 2. And then for your next choice period, you will select additional electives. For that last line there, you can select additional electives, or this is where you could write in a study hall. So we do recommend a study hall in 9th grade for students. It's helpful just with that transition and balancing your time. So if you would like to take a study hall, you can do a semester study hall or a full year study hall. You would write that there on that last line, and that's all you would write is study hall. So if you want a full year study hall, on those last 2 lines, you would write study hall, study hall. There's no course number. If you put that there, we just know that that's what you want scheduled, and that will be fit into your schedule for you. So I want to kind of like review this a little bit. So if you are doing an all-year elective, like a foreign language, that would go under that would take up those 2 spots there because it's an all-year course. So any course on the front that has a 1 credit designation is an all-year course. Any course on the front that has a half credit designation, that's a semester course. So you need to make sure that you're filling up your full year, so a first semester elective and a second semester elective. In total, we have 7 periods in the day. You can fill up to 7, but if you're taking a study hall, you're going to fill up 6 total periods. Okay, so your first 4 will be your cores, and then your last ones will be your electives. This is not the schedule as it's going to look when you walk in on your first day. This is just helping you plan out how many periods you need to fill. So don't expect that all of your core classes are going to be periods 1 through 4, and then all of your electives will be in the afternoon. That's not how it will happen. This is for planning purposes so that you can ensure that you have enough credits scheduled. So when you're counting out your credits, you want to make sure you have between 5.75 credits and 7 credits. So if you're taking a PE, that's where you get that 5.75 number. If you're not taking PE, then you'll have an even number of credits there. You also want to make sure that you are you're accounting for all 4 of those core classes up top, and that you have enough elective credits that you have at least 6 periods filled up. You cannot take more than 1 semester study hall at a time, so you can't have 2 periods with a study hall. At the bottom of this form, there are required signatures as well. I want to know that the parent has reviewed this form and that the student has reviewed it so that there's no questions about what is being scheduled for your child. And again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Just a review here of your core class options. So we have your Englishes, your math, your science, your social studies, and your PE and health. Those are the required courses. PE and health could be optional for you if you've done those ahead of time or if you're doing the PE waiver. And then a little information about your college prep, honors, and AP options here. So I get questions like, what's the difference between college prep and honors? So I tried to lay out some information here to help guide you with that. Your college prep are general courses. These are courses designed for any student in the high school to take that help you prepare for a college curriculum beyond high school. These grades are a 4.0 GPA scale. And then up above that would be your honors level courses. These are on a 4.5 weighted GPA scale. These are designed at a faster pace, more content is covered, and these are also require some more work outside of the classroom, more independent work and depth within that content. So it does require a stronger work ethic and motivation to be in those courses, and there is that benefit of that weighted GPA. And then our highest level is our advanced placement course. The only option for 9th grade for this is world history. So if you are recommended for that, please understand that this is a college level course that you are enrolling in. It's weighted on a 5-point scale. And it is going to be even more rigorous than that honors course. So more work outside of the classroom, more in-depth discussions, more expectations on that student to perform, turn things in on time, be present and engaged in that education of this particular course. Again, with the advanced placement, all students that enroll in an advanced placement class are required to take the AP exam as well. And there is a fee for that. That is usually around $100 for that exam. So please keep that in mind as well for the advanced placement courses. And then for your elective courses for 9th grade, these would fill up those last 3 periods of the day. So you can choose from any of these areas. It's really up to you. If you are going to choose a world language, we consider that a 5th academic because of the rigor of work that takes. So it does take up more time than just a general elective would. So keep that in mind if you're going to choose a world language in 9th grade, that would require the work similar to like an English or a math as far as the amount of homework and time that would be required to be successful in that class. And then the recommendation waiver. So on your request form where you see all those teacher recommendations, if you for some reason decide that you want to override a recommendation and maybe take an honors course that you weren't recommended for, you do have that option, but we do require this recommendation waiver to be completed, attached to that request form when you turn it in order to be scheduled for that course. So the purpose of this is so that you have been intentional about making that decision, that you understand and have had those conversations with your teacher about why they've recommended you for that course. And even though you know that, you're deciding that you would like to take that advanced course in order to fulfill that requirement. So we are very careful about this process, and we don't want you to set yourself up for something you're not prepared to do. So we just ask that you are intentional about overriding that recommendation and that you complete this form and turn it in with your request sheet if you are going to do so. All right, and the last couple slides here are really just examples, because I know that request form on the back can be a little tricky of like, how exactly do I fill this out? So here's a couple of examples of how you would go about completing that. You have your English, math, science, and social studies up top there. Those are all your courses, so they'll take up first and second semester. And then at the bottom here, this is how you would schedule your electives. So semester courses would fill up one part of that column, and then the second semester course would be listed in the second column there. So on that back of the request sheet, this gives you an example of how you would complete that in order to fill up all 7 periods. And here's another example. For those of you that are going to do band, you might opt out of health and PE because of that. So that would replace that 5th option there for health and PE. You might choose to take 1 semester of study hall instead of a full year study hall. So here's just a couple of examples to help you understand how to complete that request sheet on the back so that you get a full schedule and all the courses that you're intending to take. Couple reminders, just remember to count your credits so that you have at least 5.75 credits scheduled for the year. Make sure that if you need health that you schedule that, same thing with PE. And make sure that you have turned in that recommendation waiver if you're going to override any of those recommendations. These are all due again on February 9th to your social studies teacher. And so that is the majority of the scheduling information. I know it's really dry and not fun and kind of boring. It's super important though, so please, please, please take the time to go through this and do everything as we've explained, but ask questions if it doesn't make sense. I do want to remind you that this is the start of your 4-year journey in high school. What you do in 9th grade does impact the next 4 years of high school, the next 3 years beyond that, and then some. So for those of you that are thinking into your futures and thinking about college and thinking about careers, your 9th grade year is that foundation. So prepare for it, but also know that it's going to be a fun time, that you're going to start taking more and more classes of different interests and things like that. But your grades matter in high school. And if you don't pass your classes, then it can prevent you from graduating. So now's the time to make sure that you're taking this seriously and you're really planning out what you want to do. So I thank you all for coming this evening. I'll hand it off to Ms. Taringo in case she has anything else. And I look forward to working with all of you.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Ms. Menzel. So this is our evening. This is it. I'm not going to say a lot more. We are available. We have our websites. Go on our website, find our names. Obviously, Taringo, one of the associate assistant principals. Also, Ms. Wenzel. Any questions, we're here. We are focusing on our seniors. I know that it's tough now because this is the last, they're in the, as we say, the bottom of the 9th. So they are going to, they're getting ready to graduate. But this class that's sitting here and the class of 2027 is our next priority because we know that this is going to be it. You're going to be done at the middle school and you'll be welcomed here in August. So if I could, I know that the fair, some of the visuals have been taken down, but again, we're available online. You can call us also on the phone, all right? So please feel free to call us. Don't wait till August if there's a question because that is true about schedule changes and about some questions where sometimes there are just not enough seats in certain classes. So you want to make sure that when you're ready to set that up and you say, you know what, I have one other question I want to ask. Get that done before you head out for summer, okay? All right, have a great evening. Drive carefully, and thank you for joining us tonight. We're excited to see you in August.